was on, yeah. Today is, I can talk about it. Today is May the 10th, 2018. I can talk loud. Okay. If you will please stand, where I will ask Director Betts to lead us in prayer and Director Rogers to lead us in the pledges.
Let's bow our heads. Father, we just thank you for the beautiful day you've given us, Lord. We thank you for the number of people that's interested in our community, Lord. We just thank you for the opportunity that you give us as a board to serve in this capacity in this community, Lord. Lord, we ask you to be with each one of our decisions tonight, so you will be glorified in each one of them, Lord. We'll give you the honor and the praise for it. Praise the second Christ's name.
Amen.
Please place the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I pledge flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you. Before we get started, I would like to ask everyone, if you haven't already, please sign your comments. And do we have anybody sign up to speak? Nobody? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we will go on to our number 2 item, which is to approve the minutes of the Board of Directors meeting that was held on April the 5th.
So moved.
Okay.
There's one correction on the meeting of the 12th, which was to change MET to Lone Star College.
Right. Okay. Yes, okay, so Director Wetz has made the motion to approve. We need a second. And a second by Director Zepeda. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? That's unanimous, thank you. The next item is regarding the community development grant requests.
Yeah. If y'all recall, we had our process set up where your applicants come in, the first meeting, and then you guys approve them at this meeting, and then funding would occur at the next meeting. So in regards to that, you guys also recall that we had another program that we established for emergency preparedness grants. And if you want to, we can go ahead and let them speak toward the emergency preparedness grants. And then if you guys want to go through the approval process, we'll approve the regular grants after that. And then we can look at approving the emergency preparedness grants next month. We've had time to go through and look at their applications. So let's approach it that way. And we have a couple folks here. Barry, do you want to start out as far as the constable's request, and then Alex back? Okay. Say it again, is there any? We have applications out up here. Yes.
Appreciate you guys inviting us up here. At the last one that we were at, the Precinct 4 Constable's Office came to you with a request of $170,009. And you guys were gracious enough to allow us to have $77,749 for the purchase of a high-performance airboat and trailer. We greatly appreciate that, and the citizens of East Montgomery County will definitely benefit from it. If one life is saved with that boat or rescued with that boat, if we keep it for 30 years and only do one, it's worth it. So we greatly appreciate it. But I want to talk about some of the other things that we requested back then and wanted to revisit that with you guys. Another item that we was requesting was a Zodiac rescue boat with the outboard motor and a trailer. The second item would be dry suits and wetsuits. That's rescue equipment, personal protective equipment. The third item would be a rescue jet ski towable sled. And the fourth item would be a black Chevy 3500 passenger van. So if you have the packets that I gave out to you last time, skip over to the inflatable boat section. We'll just start off from there right there. Another piece of the rescue equipment we utilize is a 17-foot Zodiac inflatable boat powered by a 60 horsepower outboard motor. This vessel was made in 2004 and was bought, used using asset forfeiture funds several years ago during a flood event after our Briggs inflatable boat separated at the seams during a rescue mission with victims in the boat. It's been used in every flood event in the past few years, but again, it's more than 13 years old and was a used piece of equipment when we received it. Only mil-spec Zodiac vessels withstand our harsh Texas climate with ever-changing weather patterns. A new 17-foot mil-spec Zodiac with a new, more powerful outboard motor would greatly benefit the life-saving rescues performed by the Precinct 4 Swiftwater Rescue Team. So you could probably get in kind of rubber boat, inflatable boat out here. We've had great success with the Zodiac boats. We use the MK4 HC heavy-duty mil-spec boat. We always try to stick with a two-stroke engine, even though a lot of people in California don't like two-stroke anymore. Two-strokes are lightweight and they're fast. They'll get up and go. It's kind of like a racing dirt bike. They'll just get up and go and they're lightweight. That's why we like to use them out here, where they do take a lot more care than just a four-stroke motor. This package right here is with a trailer and the rigged out equipment and the motor, and it's $38,267. It's a little bit different than a bass boat. A bass boat, you can say a $40,000 bass boat, you take the motor off, the boat's only worth $2,000 because you're paying for the motor. It's just the opposite with this type of rescue boat right here. You take the motor off, the boat is still worth $18,000 to boat along. Keep that in mind. That's why these rescue boats are a little bit different. The next thing, if you flip over to past the boat section and the trailer section, we use the what's called a jockey seat. We've had great success using the jockey seat. And again, this is a mil-spec jockey seat made by Zodiac that we don't put in our boats. It works out great. And rescues, we can get up top where we need to see. The next thing is personal protective equipment, PPE. It's very crucial with any type of rescue. Swiftwater Rescue is no different. We had a 14-man Swiftwater Rescue team and just recently increased our team to 18 members. Some of the equipment used for PPE include wetsuits, gloves, footwear, rope bags, rope carabiners, head protection, and beacon lights. Wetsuits are great for training events and for most rescue situations. All rescue operations for this agency in the past were done wearing wetsuits. However, most rescue teams throughout Texas and other states use a dry suit to protect the team members from water that may be harmful to the rescuers, such as raw sewage, other chemicals that may cause medical problems during the rescue or post-rescue operation. The Precinct 4 Constable's Office has always kept its employees' safety in mind. Whatever the situation may be, to better protect our rescue swimmers from harm, it's very important to transition our rescue team into a dry suit. We're seeing more and more people go into a dry suit nowadays. We still use the wetsuits. Depending on what we're doing and where we're at, we're still using them. We sent some guys to Swiftwater Rescue training the other day. They were in wetsuits and with some nice water. They were in wetsuits. But when you're in a wetsuit and you're in it for one of these long rescues and you're in it for, say, 10 hours, the water in between your wetsuit and your skin is in there for 10 hours. Okay? We keep trading out these wetsuits. When a dry suit, it makes it a whole lot better to get out of these, get out of the dry suits if you're still dry. So that's one of the reasons we want to switch to a dry suit. Total cost of the dry suits and addition to our wetsuits is $15,994. The third item is a rescue jet ski towable sled, and I found one called Liquid Shredder. You see these mostly used when surfers are in big surf and the rescue jet ski goes out to pick them up or take them back out there. It's the same thing. They use these sleds in some of the Swiftwater rescue events. It's a small sled that tows behind the jet ski to pick people up. We use our jet ski a lot for scouting, see what we got before we put a boat in the water, what type of boat. That's why we need different kinds of boats, whether airboat or inflatable boat or whatever it may need to be. We'll put on a jet ski, get in the water, get out there. If somebody's hanging onto a tree, we make a fast rescue. If a rescue swimmer is doing an operation, this boat can be out there kind of a backup plan, last resort. If you get washed downstream, maybe this jet ski can get in there and help you out. These things cost $929. The last thing is a black Chevy 3500 passenger van, and that's 37070. And that price might be a little bit different going through HGAC with the county. Whenever we buy vehicles, it's a different price than that. I think this is probably just an internet price if you want to go. Here in Hurricane Harvey, we use a lot of SUVs to haul people around to different locations. Separate the families. Some of the K9 SUVs only haul 1 or 2 people, so we had the families separated. We have an old van that we use. We've been piecing together. It's running now. It's we are the third owners of the van. It's been a county van the whole time. It has probably about 270-something thousand miles on it. We just keep patching it up, but at some point that van is just going to run out of steam. And that's kind of essentially what we can use it for. We can also use a van like this for when we're going to a training event. We don't have to take 3 or 4 cars if we're taking a big group of guys to train. You can use it to transport prisoners. If you had a whole bunch of prisoners in one place, I guess you could, but for the most part, if we're moving people around, a lot of people, that's what it would be used for. And again, we have one, it gets used, but we're still patching it up together. Any questions?
With that van, if you were to get it like that, would you still have to make it, would you still would have to put in a cage to separate prisoners from, you wouldn't need to do that?
We wouldn't put in a cage. Now, we'd probably put lights on it, put the stripes on it, the decals on it, just for identification purposes. But for the most part, if somebody's going to be belligerent and we have to haul a prisoner like that, we're probably going to put them in one of our cars that has a plastic back seat. That's just how we haul people that's acting up like that. But if we had to haul 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 prisoners and they were all acting nice, and prisoners are people too, well then there's no reason they can't be handcuffed up front and set into a back seat of a van. Haul to the combo tube level.
The only other thing I wanted to ask you is for these 5 different items, the way that you have them on this sheet that you have, is that the order of importance to the department?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
And the total would be, this total minus what we funded for.
92,260.
92,260.
Yes. The total, the grand total was 170,009, and then the airboat from Airboat America was 77,749, which that boat's in some of the final stages of being built at this time.
Larry, this jet ski that you're talking about, is this jet ski different from the jet skis you see out there on the,
This is
lake
just a,
people running around on, or is it?
This is not a ski. This is kind of looks like a knee board that you would ski behind a boat, but it's attached to the jet ski. We own the jet ski already.
I'm talking about the jet ski itself.
The jet ski that we use, yes, it is.
Is it a different
Yes.
kind of jet ski that they use out
No,
there?
we use Yamaha 1200 that was seized at Lake Conroe from a boat pursuit. Precinct 1 constables, they used it for lake patrol for several years. They didn't want it anymore, put it in auction. We have the ability to pull things out of auction. We pulled it for water rescue. We're pulling the prop off of it this week and pulling the grade off of it and putting a lower torque prop on it. So we don't need high-end speed, we need low-end torque. So we're changing that out. So it's the same kind of jet ski, it's just a large one.
Do you have any other
I
questions?
have a question, but it's not for Barry. It's for the new county chief.
Okay.
About 10 or 12 years ago, we bought can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, we bought a Zodiac, and I believe New Caney had it.
Yes,
Do
sir.
y'all still have that boat?
No, sir, they put too large of a motor on it and the transom came off. That
Okay,
was, probably 2009 that occurred. So they put too large of a motor on that boat was the issue.
okay. And y'all without one altogether now? Nobody
No,
has
sir, we
one
have 2
that you
inflatable
use.
boats. We do.
That's what I'm getting at.
But when we get so stretched out, during the hurricane, we had become so stretched out that we had them handling Porter area, we had Splendor and New Caney districts in New Caney covering
Right.
John Baptist and Camden. And then we had nothing up there except for Pat Village was handling that area. So we got so stretched out there because of all the areas flooded, so we really need one more. I've used funds that we've already received from the purchase our stuff.
Well, I remember, I think I'm the only one that probably remembers us buying that.
And prior to that, you guys bought New Caney and Splendor, some Zodiacs.
Yeah.
And they last a long time, did a lot of rescues, saved a lot of lives, but at
Right.
some point, they run out of life too.
I understand. And Porter got it, they have a flat bottom. They bought them all at the same time.
Yes, sir, they do have that. They're replacing theirs with inflatables now too.
Okay.
We found out in Swift Current, flat bottom.
Yeah.
Right here.
So this is better.
You need a whole
Thank
bunch of
you.
different stuff.
And I know all you guys work together.
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, our department just put on an airboat training class. It was for all the law enforcement out here. We're about to put on a second boat training class. And we're gonna invite fire over to this class, and it's gonna be for jet ski, inflatables and airboat. But it's gonna be geared more towards what we do here in East Montgomery County. Some of the other law enforcement agencies, Roman Force has got some guys ready to go to swiftwater rescue. You got guys fixing to go to swiftwater rescue. And we're looking at ways of how to incorporate them into our swiftwater rescue team, kind of like a task force.
That's what we want to see.
Because flood does not care where the boundary lines are. Flood
No
waters,
boundaries.
they're like the bad guys. They care less where the city limits ends, county line ends. So we all got to work together.
Anybody else?
I just wanted to point out, sport is just Roman Force also doing all the guys back here.
All these
Yeah.
guys back here, they're all,
Chief Sharp, I know is.
so we're looking forward to it. Not only, do we come together on stuff like SWAT teams, but we have to do some of this stuff on swiftwater also. And there's a little bit more that goes into it. After Hurricane Harvey, when a lot of the rescuing was done, we shifted gears. And we were patrolling some neighborhoods with a 12-gauge shotgun. We were doing looter patrol. So,
Anybody else?
Do other law enforcement agency outside of our area, like Houston or somewhere, do they have a program like this? Or?
yeah, so Precinct 4, Harris County Constable's Office has a pretty large water rescue team. It just depends on where they're at in there. Of course, during Harvey, everybody was doing water rescues, whether you had to do it or not. But there are other law enforcement teams out there that do swiftwater rescue, looter patrol, just assist with the fire department. At some point, it's fire department's call, but at some point, the fire department does not have enough folks to keep up with the call, just like we don't have enough to keep up with the call. But we can just get in there and do one, we'll do it.
Actually, I was surprised to learn that the city of Houston Fire Department that spoke at the college on a Harvey meeting said that they only had 3 votes and they lost 1 in Harvey. Just also.
We're going to lead the way out here in East Montgomery
Yeah,
County
absolutely.
with the law enforcement and the fire department.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank
so
you
much.
guys for the time.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Alex, are you doing it?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay, all right.
How are y'all tonight? Before I get started, if y'all will check your packets, and I'm specifically looking to see if y'all have the bullet points, number 13 through 19 on our departmental letterhead attached. Shouldn't be too far in, maybe 6 or 7 pages. I received a copy back, and in my copy, these were not there, but it looks on y'all's faces and okay. Didn't want you to think that a truck corners and bidding right on the grant covers, those are the corresponding numbers to the question asked in the grant. Typed out. There's a lot of information. Also, while I'm passing this out to you, I know you may or may not get feedback. Y'all often probably don't get feedback on prior grants when it comes to emergency response for first responders. The community block grant that was awarded to the City of Splendora Police Department back in December, about around the middle of the month, that equipment that EMCID funded has been deployed on 3 separate occasions with the strategic response team. And it was not inclusive to just the city limits of Splendora. It's been deployed once in Roman Force, once in our city, and once in the county. So thank you, because without EMCID, we would not have that. There's a lot of information in reference to the drones that are in front of you, and making this presentation to you on behalf of hurricane response disaster preparedness. We have another event like Harvey. We identified some deficiencies in our response during the last hurricane, and dating back even to Hurricane Rita and Hurricane Ida. One of the things that we realized is that we could offer services or responses to augment and or support other preparedness activities that are occurring, whether it's swiftwater rescue, whether it is people being rescued from rooftops, flat bottom boats, airboats, and one of the pieces of equipment that was identified is the drone. What's unique about the drone is, and oftentimes in flood events, we lose what's called line of sight because of debris, the change in the terrain, darkness. The line of sight is a serious issue, and I think that anybody that has done any type of flood rescue operations can attest to that. The drone is meant to augment and support that task and that function. It allows us to get up and over obstacles. It allows us to look further out and increase our line of sight that we can't see, maybe from an overpass. Chief Welch, during Harvey, we had our guys up on Highway 59, and we had a couple people that were up in a tree, and we were trying to direct their rescue boat to two people in a tree off of 29. The drone would have allowed us to actually get out there to them, do an assessment of their physical health, their well-being, and the proposal that you have, there's 3 drone models available. All of these come from DJI, Drone Systems International. Real quick, DJI actually supplies and supports your equipment and training the drone program for the shell planes. During Hurricane Harvey, their drones actually were up and operational and have been since rated to fly up to hurricane force winds. They had these things on autopilot on a geofence, flying around the above ground tanks, looking for damage sustained during the winds. They performed marvelously. The first package is the Phantom 4 Pro EMCID. I apologize if I can't get these names right. The package subtotal is $2,263, and that's for one drone and associated equipment that is with it. This is a beginner or base model flight system. Okay. The second package is the DJI Inspire 2. Its package price is $5,286. That's a mid-model. When we get to the DJI Inspire 2 model, it has a unique feature, this package and the next one, and that is that it has a payload capacity. So not too long ago, everybody saw on the news, Amazon was talking about drone package aerial delivery. It's these 2 pieces of equipment, this package and the next one, are capable of that. The payload for the Inspire 2 is 5 pounds. For the next package, which is the DJI Matrix 200, its payload capacity is up to 8 pounds, and the package total for that flight system is $15,934. Now you may wonder, what is the application for a payload system with a drone during a hurricane or disaster response? Let's say we've got somebody that is confined to their house. They can't get out. There's a house inside our city right behind the gas station that it turns into the Alamo every time there's a flood. Water comes up, and Harvey was the first time water got in, but usually they're cut off. What we have with the capability with this is if we identify people in advance who have medical conditions, and maybe they have medications that a family member gets to us, but they can't get it to them. We can get close enough, we can deliver this medication in a payload right to them until first responders can get to them and rescue them to them out. The other thing, the individuals that I referenced that were stuck up in the tree, when we do an assessment with a camera, their physical well-being to see if they have any broken bones, if a medic thinks that they look dehydrated, it sounds silly and it sounds simplistic, but if we can just get them a bottle of water for 30 to 45 minutes until we can get a rescue crew out, we would have that capability. We don't have that capability right now. Okay? The highest capability in the package that we have is this last package at $15,934. Has the highest payload. That is, like I said, just for the flight system. The training for 2 drone pilots is an additional $5,000. It is done by DJI. They can come to us, we can go to them. They prepare us for the FAA Part 107 exam. that is required that you take that before you enter into the flight licensing operation of the drone. And then once that is successfully completed, it's about a week-long course. It's hands-on, it's real-time with a flight instructor, 5 days a week, and they run the gamut with you as far as flight controls and specific to aerial operations in reference to responding to disaster. There is a accompanying piece of equipment that we feel is vital in the drone program, and that is the FLIR unit. These drones all have the capability of carrying different camera systems, and they can also be swapped out that can carry a FLIR, forward-looking infrared. So if you remember back in the grant that was awarded in December, EMCID was gracious enough to give us some miniature, grant us the funding for miniature FLIRs that our SRT team uses and that our patrol officers use. This technology is no different. Unfortunately, it's an entirely different platform, has further reaching distance, it's all weather rated, and it comes out at a pretty hefty price tag of $14,000. That would also be in addition to the flight package for the drone. So as it stands right now, there's 3 price components to the drone program. The price of the drone, the FLIR, and then the associated training for that. You may ask, why do we need to train 2 drone pilots? There's a couple reasons. Drone pilots, doing the research for this, the FAA is involved. So a lot of the rules and regulations that cover pilots apply to drone operators, to drone pilots in law enforcement and in the first responder area. We are limited to the number of what they call stick hours, how long we can be behind the controls for any length of period of time before fatigue starts to set in. So if we have a long-running operation, we're getting on to plus 2 hours, 3 hours, that pilot is going to need to be relieved. It would need to be relieved for continuous operation by another licensed pilot. So that's why we are requesting the training for 2 pilots. And that $5,000 price is the total package cost for both pilots. It's not $5,000 for $5,000. So before I move on to the next portion of this grant, does anybody have any questions specific to the drone portion that I may be able to ask for? Yes, sir.
I think the drone is a great idea, but I'd like to vary. How could this fit in VR?
Yeah, so there's a lot of swiftwater rescue teams that are using drones for swiftwater rescue, for scouting out. We were lucky enough to seize one from a drug dealer, so we didn't ask for one. But we still have to go through the same training that he's talking about going through, and we still have to outfit it with a FLIR at some point. So we're in the beginning stage of that, but a FLIR on a drone, or just a drone out there in daytime operations, definitely something that you could use. Going back to the people that we rescued in the city, you could have got them a bottle of water, they thought it was gold. As soon as they hit the boat, they both drank 2 bottles of water, even though it was pouring down rain on us. They've been in a tree all day for like 12 hours. They hadn't had any water other than water landing on their face. And getting medication to these people, if they're diabetic, if you just get it to them while we're trying to come up with a plan on how to get to them. We've been in water rescue scenes where it's taken us up to 7 hours just to figure out how to get to them. Sometimes we have to get into a neighborhood, we have to commandeer somebody's truck that's flooded in there and their trailer and unhook and unload hay from it, just so we can load another boat on it. We go another 3 miles into a neighborhood and then unload it and do it all over again because we get dry spots that the boat can't go across. So there's a lot of things that you can do with the drone. And even if he goes into a territory, say that they don't have a radio communications, myself and some of my guys, we went and assisted some Texas Rangers up north just the other day on looking for our body. We didn't have any communications with them at all. They called Lufkin, PDN with the drone, and we followed their drone to the body, where they thought the body was at. We was one of the search teams that went in there, just following a drone in the air. They're flying above treetop level. So there's a lot of things that law enforcement can do with the drone. So it can definitely help out in East Martin County.
Thank you. One other thing that I want to mention, because Chief Welch made a comment about during the daytime, and something that I failed to mention is that The drone flight program that we received the training for, this company, included in that $5,000 is also the certification for night flight operations. It would allow us to run a drone 24/7, 365. As Hurricane Harvey can attest, these drones can attest to the conditions that they faced in Harvey. They flew in hurricane force winds. They were not grounded. You're not going to get a helicopter over hurricane force winds. But these drones performed, and they performed well. It's already been documented that they can fly in those conditions. So we are not restricted in what our capability is with this technology or this platform.
What's the range on these?
I wish I had that specific information in front of you, and as simplistic as this sounds, the mid and price range packages that I gave you, they are only restricted in range by flight battery, by flight time. The beginning package, it has a rather short radius, but the mid and the upper price range, they don't. As long as you got a battery on them, you can set your geofence out if you need to, as far as you can, go fly to that point. The one other thing that is capable, these drones are capable of, is what's called tethering operations. Tethering operations allow us to tie into an electrical extension cord, basically. And with the payload capacity, these things can get the extension cord up in the air, basically just plug in while it flies, and it can hover indefinitely. Don't need a pilot. If we want to do area surveillance, if we want to monitor, let's say Peach Creek is rising, the Creekwood, and we want to monitor the water rising and maybe help the officials make a determination on, hey, look, this water's come up. You know, they can tell you water's rising a foot an hour. But until you see it with your own eyes, you don't really grasp how fast that is. We got to tether a drone, and a drone can stay airborne, can monitor water conditions, and the officials can make a determination that, man, yeah, we need to get moving, we need to get some people out of here. This provides that capability and that function. And that can,
Can you clarify, because the 3 different drones, are you asking for one each, or those are 3 different options?
we are asking for because of the capability, especially in reference to payload capacity, we're asking for package, it's not marked package C, but it would be package C, the DJI Matrix 200, which is the package subtotal of $15,934.
That comes with a drone and all the controls and everything that you need to fly that drone.
Yes, sir. This is control. It comes with the drone, 8 of the batteries, a hard case, 8 extra blades. It comes with the Z30 camera, okay, which is not clear. That's the color camera. It can take pictures, video, and/or it can be monitored what's called live feed. It also comes with the charging hub, the power cable, a vision calibration plate, and a gimbal damper. It actually comes with 3 of those. So you have 3 motor, 3 plates.
And that's before the clear also.
Correct.
They get the training.
And the training. So roughly, we're looking at about 29, 34, right under $35,000.
34,934.
Yes. For that thing.
And that would get you everything that you would need to put this in operation.
Yes,
How
sir.
long would it take you to get it in operation once you had it?
We're looking at a preliminary time frame right now, so it's just a matter of getting the equipment. The equipment, the vendor has advised us we can get 2 weeks. And then it's whenever we schedule our training, which since the 2 people that would be going to drone pilot school are also going to Swiftwater School next week, be the latter part of the month. But we would be up and operational no later than the 2nd week of hurricane season. This is mid-June.
What's the difference in the payload between the C and the D?
The C and the D, so the B package, or the mid-range package, is a 5-pound payload. The C package, or the third, is the 8-pound payload. Doesn't sound really like that much, but if you think about tethering operations, extension cord, I would want every available bit of payload capacity I need.
You could do the extension cord would be.
Be close for tethering operations. Be close.
The extension cord I mean is.
Absolutely. description?
No, ours is gonna be an older model. We don't have the luxury of asking the drug dealers to get the best.
Right. Usually they've got some pretty good ones.
They do. It's gonna be an older model. We looked at it, we think we can retrofit it with a FLIR at some point, and we have, our detective team is gonna be the first one, so there'll be some training on it.
And we would have 3 in our area.
Yeah, so, sometimes you can use these drones kinda like you can use your canines out here. You can run one, and when the canine's out, it's bring in another one, and same thing with the drones, if you get one out here. Unfortunately, they do hit stuff, they do crash, and you do lose them.
Yep.
MCSO, the sheriff, they also in Lake Conroe. They run out of juice, you break, a blade, you gotta bring it down for repairs, or you're just changing out batteries, you put another one in the sky. So the more you can get out here, the better.
You'll carry insurance on it?
We do carry insurance on ours. It's gonna be just a piece of county equipment, but,
But that way, if you lost it, it would be replaced, and I assume that the city would also, or since everybody would use it, I'm
Yes.
sure that they have.
it depends on how your insurance policy is laid out. I mean, our county won't cover the dog.
I might add, TML will insure our drone too.
Okay, thank
So
you.
it will be covered under insurance.
And one other thing, just to piggyback off of what Chief has said, you're not gonna be able to have enough redundant systems, especially in a disaster. You may have drone pilots that can't get in. They were activated too late, and flooded, they can't get in, or they're gonna be late getting in. Or you've got equipment, technology does fail sometimes. So let's say we have 3 drones, 2 of them are serviceable and up in the air flight, 1 we're short for. If I'd be for as many drones as we can get, and each one of them are specific to the task of disaster response and preparedness. It's the other point with this equipment, specifically with the B and C packages. They have 2 features. One is a low battery return to home flight. If I leave it out there and I want to squeeze 5 more minutes out of it, and it's telling me it only has 6 minutes of flight time left, and the onboard computer knows that it's got a 300-yard flight back to me, it's coming home. It's not going to let me keep it out there. The other thing that it has is crash avoidance system or radar on it. It's not going to let me fly anywhere, which is a huge benefit, especially when we're talking about pricing electronic.
Will it survive being submerged? I don't know, somebody did that.
I couldn't hear you.
Will it survive being submerged?
I got lots of words.
Yeah, if you dropped it in the water?
It will more than likely survive that. They do have drones. There's one out there right now that's actually red in color. Designed to just throw it in the water and actually takes off from the water. This one has got waterproofing on it. I'm not sure what degree it is because this one is rated to fly in the rain.
Correct.
I've got 3 personal drones myself, and I started using the drone right before all the regulations stepped in Harris County when I worked for them. For search and rescue, I was locating suspects behind houses and stuff like that. And it's very effective for a multitude of things besides just search and rescue. We had a situation on the forest where we had to go in and then an entry when the suspect was hiding out in the garage. We had windows in the garage. So nobody wanted to stick their head up, look in, because he was armed. Did a phone up. And saw the position where the suspect was, possibly saving someone's life. The FLIR, in the case of the FLIR, our package, whether the grant purchase, if y'all even help us with that or not, we'll purchase a FLIR because there's a situation with the 2 people in a tree that the conference on fell out. A regular camera wouldn't have shown them, but a FLIR would have showed the floating bodies in the tree. And it's so much more effective when there's not people hiding or passed out or taking grass or something like that. Or in this case, they were in trees. And it took quite a bit for us to get them open and do them. And a FLIR drone, and let's just see exactly where they were having to go to them. Because the fact that it flies in any weather is astronomical. Most of them out there are smaller ones, such as the one that Miriam had, and it's the one I own personally. It starts to rain, that rain down. They won't survive that. This one is ready for that. So,
And I did want to add, because I referenced earlier the shell plant. The gentleman who is going to be providing our training on this is also does the training, flight training, and the continued support training for Shell in its drone program. Those drones, once they were put up in the air, flew 24/7, non-stop, until Shell decided that their tanks were holding and they were not needed. All told, they were up in the air for roughly 52 hours.
Doing hard, basically submerged. So it was
Yeah.
a tremendous amount of rain. And they couldn't stop without any major problems at all.
Pilot's gonna give out long before he comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chief, are you a licensed pilot?
Sir?
Are you a licensed pilot?
No, sir, I wish I was. When I got my drones, I have them FAA registered, which is the only requirement as far as civilian flight, requirement that FAA has. When you do this type of stuff, you have to have a license.
You're not licensed to do,
No, no.
you and Joe could be competitive out there flying around.
Yeah.
Do those things have cameras like regular maintenance on them?
Not really, they're pretty much maintenance free. The only problem that you'll run into is if you land too hard or you hit a limb or something, you break a prop or a thumb or something like that. That's why those things
I mean, like those blades are turning, you don't have to have maintenance like
they're tough. I've
Send them in for
flown
police job.
No, not like a helicopter where you have every 100 hours, you gotta do, strip it and do maintenance on it. They're pretty resilient.
They're very resilient. Man, I hit trees and everything else with it. And it's just,
Who would do that? The manufacturer would do the maintenance on them?
Yes.
as far as the prop change out, they're real easy. You push down, push one time, and pop out.
Anything else about that?
Yeah, I would, man, I saw it with that one that we had out there, the food track.
Yes.
Man, that thing was awesome.
Mine's capable up to a 5 mile flight now, away from the drone. I've got a range enhancer and stuff like that. But you start using it for this type of stuff, then the FAA steps in to make sure that cross units, guys, you have to have pilot's license, very extensive license and procedure actually. Pretty tough.
Anybody have any other questions regarding the drones?
Okay, I was thinking about, commercial insurance policies automatically exclude drone coverage. To get drone coverage, you have to exclude the exclusion. That sounds true as it can be. That's how insurance companies are. Drone liability is a brand new liability. I know one person that actually has drone coverage. He said it's real.
Wow.
It's very new. It's kind of cutting edge.
Yes.
And insurance companies have caught up.
And actually, DJI offers some little coverage. I got no insurance.
Partner is the one that
The
did
hood,
it.
I don't know if you follow it.
They're afraid of people getting drones and peeping over in somebody's backyard with their camera and suing them.
Yes, and that's part of the reason the regulations have been for this type of thing, it requires a license.
And just so we can put, if that concern is anywhere in this room, in reference to law enforcement drone operations, put something to everybody's mind at ease real quick on that. FAA rules and regulations clearly state that anytime a law enforcement agency operates a drone, we have to, same thing as pilot, has to file a flight plan. We have to record how long we were in the air. We have to record our geo points, a bunch of information we have to provide. And we have to publish that information and make it accessible to the public should they so wish to see it. This package
I
also.
don't have to do privately, but we'll have to do this.
This package does come with the software, the online reporting software, to where we can plug, basically it's plug and play, we can plug all those data points, information in, and it will keep a record and a log.
But it wouldn't be used just specifically for the rescues. I mean, you could also use it in the regular course.
We would
could
bring it-
searching
yeah,
for
we
prisoners,
could.
escaped
It's
prisoners.
going to be used for multiple things. Like, for instance, our founders have.
Yes.
We can tether it, put it straight up in the air and be able to observe all the kids with various different functions and stuff, the brains, if they have an accident or something like that, they can be tethered and fly forever. So it would give us a point of observation to be able to observe the crowd, because in the past, sometimes at night, my cook-off team, they'd be smoking and alcohol and stuff like that, we're going to be fights with drone up there. Tethered, we would have an observation point, we have a count on the officers being in the right place at the right time, and
Yeah, that's it.
it'd be a true lesson.
Molly, did he say, does that have like a heat sensor on?
The FLIR, the forward-looking
FLIR
infrared,
does.
would be.
That's how it would operate, but that's another camera option. It was in that option.
Yes, that's the 14.
Yeah, that was a $14,000 price.
So we'll have that taken. FLIR is very important, particularly in a flood situation when it's just, I I've got night vision as well, but night vision won't show a clear well. And if you got somebody holding onto a tree in cold water, the heat sensor, the heat sensor comes out. It's just pretty low. Very effective.
Any other questions regarding the drone?
Okay, so I'll try to make part two really quick because I know I'm not the only person here tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The second part of the grant application is for a command vehicle. The command vehicle would be a 2018 Chevrolet Tahoe, 4x2, not 4x4. The purpose of this vehicle, although it would be marked and equipped as a police vehicle, its primary function and role would be to carry the onboard charging stations and additional equipment in some of our first responder or disaster preparedness functions specific to drone. We gotta have a place to mount these chargers, carry the extra parts, the computer with the flight logs, and so forth and so on. And all of that would be housed in the rear cargo area of the vehicle. The vehicle would not be used for prisoner transport. There would be no cage in the vehicle. Everything within inside that vehicle would be used specifically for support operations during a disaster or response to a disaster, whether it be natural and or man-made. It would not have to just be a hurricane, it could be a forest fire, any type of disaster. The base model price is $32,928 for the Tahoe, and that is coming from the Caldwell Country Chevrolet dealership. That was the best price that we could find from the area dealerships. It's the only reason why this particular bid is included. We include the others, and some of them more, just for the vehicle alone, over $40,000. The corresponding retro or upfit for the supporting equipment, it's a 3-page document, and it's from Fleet Safety Equipment. It's a 3-part quote. It's estimate number 28974. The total is on the final page, page 3. And it's $8,157.38. So between the base price, model price for the Tahoe and the corresponding equipment, we're right up against the $40,000, a little over $40,000. Would like to add that we were graciously donated the mobile incident command vehicle from the Laurel Fire Department in Maryland, Baltimore, Maryland, back in October of last year. That vehicle serves as a multifaceted response vehicle. It is an incident command post, it is an SRT response vehicle, it is a triage center, and that vehicle is attached to the strategic response team, which encompasses the 3 municipalities of Rowan Forest, Patton Village, and Wood Branch, should they need it, in the city of Splendora. We have no more room on that vehicle for equipment. Since it is multifaceted, it carries the equipment for the accident reconstruction team, the cameras, still cameras, video cameras, barricades, tolling stations. It also carries the crime scene equipment. It also carries the equipment for the strategic response team. There's just no more storage available on that vehicle. This is the reason for us asking for the command vehicle, the command support vehicle. This command support vehicle would also deploy anytime the incident command vehicle would deploy, because it would have additional resources and equipment on board.
Could the drone program survive without the number on top?
Yes, sir, good.
Any other questions regarding the Tahoe? Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it.
And getting back to the regular grant process, you have a sheet in front of you that Kelly prepared, kind of a summary of your grant application. And then there's a evaluative sheet that kind of faces this way, so where everything, the peer review is on there as well as your all's review of the grants. So it gives you a weighted average in regards to which ones are reviewed the most favorable from peers. And then also the evaluating process y'all went through with your evaluation is kind of summarized on there for you.
So you want to go through one by one?
Yeah, you guys want to go through them one by one, or kind of what are your thoughts?
What about,
Okay.
Okay, so the first one for the Boy Scout troop, 10-11, for new camping gear, the trailer, rental van, and the summer transport to the camping, and they're requesting $5,000.
Need a motion?
Yes, sir.
So moved.
Okay, motion by Director Martin, did you say? Okay,
He's trying to make a motion to.
I'm so sorry.
I'll second.
Okay. Director Martin makes the motion, and Director Rogers seconds it. Any discussion regarding that? All in favor? And that is unanimous, thank you. The next one is the City of Splendora for the picnic, large picnic pavilions, 8 picnic tables, trash receptacles, sidewalks, at the splash pad, and that's for $22,675.
Second.
Okay, I've got a motion by Director Pearson and second by Director Martin. Any discussion regarding that one? All in favor? That's unanimous as well, thank you. Next one, Friends of Splendora Ag for the sporting clay throwers for $5,000.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Motion by Director Rogers and second by Director Zepeda. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. The next one is All About Love. That's the construction of the spay neuter plant. My problem with this is that she doesn't utilize anybody in East County, even though she's physically local.
Make a motion to do that.
Okay?
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion by Director Wetz that we do not fund this grant, and a second by Director Zepeda. Any other discussion?
Question, what do you mean by that will serve us?
No, because I don't think you were here with us.
No, I wasn't. That's
Okay.
why.
She lives here in East County, but she uses veterinarians in the Woodlands and in Spring. She doesn't utilize any of the vets that are located here, or any of the services that are available in East County.
She also did not have property here to construct the building on.
Right, she didn't own the property. Well, she didn't own the building. She wanted to use these funds as a down payment on a portable building that she would purchase in the future. Does that make sense? All right, all in favor that we do not grant the fund? That's unanimous, thank you. The next one is Mia's Hope Pregnancy Center. This is for educational information and materials for parenting and childcare. Motion by Director West that we fund this one as well, and seconded by Director Zepeda. Any discussion?
Is that, for the schools?
She does work with, yes, with the counselors and she's dealing with girls in the schools.
After she said this, I found out that she had the admission had done a background check on her, and she is utilizing one of the offices in the mission to do that also.
Yeah, I believe she said that foundation.
She was afraid, where she's located in Maryland is in the building with Impact Church in Roman Marshall, but she was afraid that some of the people would not come to her because of proximity to the police department.
Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor of granting the grant? And that's unanimous, thank you. The next one is Montgomery County Youth Services. They were not present for this, for the presentation, and so we need a motion regarding that.
Need a motion since the qualified?
Just
Well, do we need to,
I think you can rule that they're not eligible.
okay, so they would be in it, they would be
The
ineligible.
board could challenge on it, but that would be sufficient. Nobody
Okay.
challenges it.
Okay, then we'll just move on to the next one. This is for Patton Village Police Department regarding their swiftwater rescue training for 8 members for $6,150.50. We got a motion by Director Martin and a second by Director Pearson. Any discussion?
Yeah, I would like to see this grant go from the 6,000 to the 12,000 that they asking for to fully pay for the entire program without them having to take funds out of their other accounts. Do I need to make a motion for
Well, I
that?
think Director Martin would need to amend his motion.
Are you writing grants and applications now? Or you just want to-
Hey, I just want to do whatever's right. I just want to see this grant.
I would edit my motion to reflect Leonard's wishes. Sir,
Okay, so we have the amended motion for the $12,003 should be the total. Just double that amount, and with the second by Director Pearson, you agree with that second, Director Pearson? Thank you. Any other discussion regarding that? All in favor? And that is unanimous. Thank you. Next is the St. John of the Cross Knights of Columbus Council for wheelchair ramps, wheelchairs, costs associated with the food bank, freezer repair, and food drives of $5,000.
Second.
Director Pearson has made the motion and a second by Director Wetz. Any discussion regarding that? All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. Next one is Society of St. Stephen. This was regarding back to school supplies, etc. If I'm remembering this one correctly, they are actually located in Kingwood, but they service East County. Yes, and they service East County, and their request is for $5,000.
Make a motion.
You know what, I made a note, let me see, there was a pretty large percentage of the students that they said they actually assist. Let me see.
I think you said that 60.
It was more than 50% is from our school district, yes. No, they're a nonprofit. They have other fundraisers that they do to collect other additional. So we would just need a motion to approve. Okay. Motion by Director Pearson to approve that, and a second by Director Martin. Any discussion? All in favor? Or did you?
No.
All in favor? Okay.
I vote
Unanimous. Thank you.
Early vote started already.
The next one is the Splendora ISD Education Foundation for their startup needs for materials for $5,000.
Do we have any kind of policy? I wasn't on the board when you came and started here, so.
I can tell you, we did, we funded some seed.
This is setting a precedent.
Yes, and I heard a motion by Director Zepeda. Okay. Does that answer your question? Okay, so motion by Director Zepeda and a second by Director Wetz. Any discussion? All in favor? And that's unanimous, thank you. And the last but certainly not least is the Splendora Youth Baseball Association for sidewalks to bring it to ADA compliance. This request is for $20,100. I heard a motion here and a second here. Okay. Motion by Director Pearson and a second by Director Rogers. Discussion? Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. That concludes the grants.
Brenda, did we do the St. John of the Cross, or was not one of the
We did, and you raised your hand,
It was for ramps.
I just, for some reason, I didn't mark that. Thank you very much.
and you did raise your hand, just so you know. Okay, so the next item is going to be, the status of the district's 12.85 acre site.
Frank, are you going to consider those the emergency service grants next month?
Yes, they will be on the agenda for next month. Thank you.
Yeah, as far as item number 4, in regards to the building structure here, once again, we've got our agreement in place with Matt with
currently in the building. And then I think the only other thing we talked about at the last board meeting is David's in the process of preparing a lease agreement with Kingwood College for their ESO classes to be here in the facility. That's all we've got in regards to that item right now.
Okay. All right, the next item would be to hear from our bookkeeper. Good evening, Ms. Kay. How are you?
All of you should have your supplemental bookkeeping report. There's not a lot of change. The biggest change, however, is your sales tax that you received. Page 2 shows your account balances. You have $3,688,545.4 in your general operating account. Your capital projects, $96,928.25. Debt service, $1,315,657.74. Your reserve debt service is $740,760. And the events account, $92,680.75. For a total of all funds of $5,904,516.78. As I mentioned, page 3, you did receive your sales tax and payment from Lone Star College on rent. Your balance forward was $244,949.74. Receipts of $1,151,412.59. Disbursements, checks presented today, $227,472.29, leaving $1,168,890.04 in the general operation. What follows is your budget versus actual for the month of April. This would only have the changes with the checks that were presented, if any of those were dated in April. Any of the bills would be dated in April. Budget. On page 7, you have your sales tax revenue history. And as you can see, we received the March sales tax of $1,149,114. The rest of the report has not changed. Okay. Any questions on this or the prior report?
Anybody have any questions? Okay, so we would need a motion to approve. Okay, we've got a motion by Director Carloff to approve the bookkeeper's report and pay the bills. We need a second, please. Okay, Director West has made the second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? And that's unanimous. Thank you. The next item is review and approval of ESD 7's grant funding report and payment of the 2017 grant in accordance with the provisions thereof. Requesting a 3-year grant extension. Are you here? Oh, okay, go ahead. Yes. Sorry, I looked up and I see you and I'm thinking, I know this is not what you used to do.
We have to report with them, I'll get to the mark that later is that was in your package.
Okay.
Got it. This is for the grant calculations for 2017 to comply with the agreement with ESD 7. The procedures that we use to prepare the report are on page 1 and 2. The grant calculation was under the terms of agreement dated September 25th, 2007. For the monthly grant to be paid for ESD 7. There's been several changes, but under the current agreement, the section 4 says that each December 31st, the district will make an additional grant to make up the difference between $300,000 minus the amount of ad valorem taxes received by ESD 7 in such a year. The bookkeeper provided a schedule of the ESD 7 tax levy for property taxes. We added the personal property that was certified by the tax preparer, and we had a resulting amount in 2017 of $61,841.11. Under the agreement, that amount should have been deducted from the $300,000 grant, but the amount was not deducted, so the amount to be refunded from ESD 7 as calculated as of December 31st is $61,841.11. And if you'll turn to Schedule A, we showed the land certified at $56,444,830. We reduced it by the exempt mud 4 land
was the original amount? Do you remember the original?
They were getting 300,000 a year.
It's $1.5 million, subject to the adjustments, the annual adjustments. The first 300 was paid, I believe, right when you signed the document agreement.
Right.
And then there was 300 that was paid the following year, and then after that, it was a formula which was $300,000 minus the revenue that was generated from up in East Montgomery County, by number 4, because that was
Excluded.
that was excluded. So how much did they get from there? And then you would make up the difference to $300,000. This year, I think y'all released a wire, paid $300,000 in advance of the audit being completed. And so now this is sort of true to the pot, if you will. And then we'll go through the same, you'll go through the same exercise, hopefully next December or January, in advance of the check.
But it has the mud 4 section pulled out.
Well, that's what this is.
Yeah, that's what I'm just confirming.
That's the 61, that's essentially the $61,000 was
Okay.
the revenue that was received.
We're gonna do it like this again next year.
Yes.
So give
I think there's 3 more years. No, that was an error. Well, there was 2 errors. There was 2 errors. One was that you didn't get the audit, you didn't do the audit early enough, as early as it should. And the second was that you released the wire sending the full 300 without having the audit. So 2 things went wrong this year, which we hope to fix next year and get the timetable correct.
So basically, that's drone money.
Pretty much.
I guess that's it.
Can I make one comment? That's more than the last spreadsheet you guys sent.
Yeah.
That we sent back.
And-
The last one that they done was 55,000, now it's 61.
You want to say that again?
The last spreadsheet that you guys sent for the correction was 55,000 that we owed back. Now this is 61,000.
The original amount didn't have
Who's the spreadsheet prepared by? Because this is the first one from the auditor.
I'm talking about for the refund we owed before that.
Yeah,
month.
that- this
The
is-
I
bookkeeper
got one
listing
from the
said
book.
56,000. That didn't include the personal property that was certified.
Okay.
So that was added in.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't
There was-
include the personal property that was added back in. The bookkeeper's report didn't have it, the personal property, but the auditor's report does include that. Okay. Thank you.
So you just have to accept it and then forward it over to the BSD 7 about how you want to adjust on.
Well, we were hoping that we'd get a copy of that, and that would come in the form of like an invoice or something, and then we could just send you all a check.
Yeah. We'll get the final after it's accepted tonight.
Okay.
Easy enough. We'll
You trust
bring
us
your
for
checkbook?
it?
No, I was just responding to the question about the procedure, where we go.
She was talking on the side.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep saying it stinks.
Oh, my. Okay, so that's one part of it, and then the rest is consider the grant for the 3-year grant extension. Do we need to do one motion for all, or just,
No,
should we
just-
separate them up?
Let's just finish it. A motion to accept this one.
Okay, so we're gonna split it into 2. Okay, so we need a motion to accept the auditor's report.
I'll make that motion, I just need, one question.
Okay, so we got a motion by Director Carlisle, second by Director Cepeda. Any discussion?
I have a question. I remember when we made this contract, we sectioned off the original money for before the annexation.
Correct.
And that was done properly in the audit.
That's your auditor.
Okay, so I got a question on,
I'm sorry.
when we made this contract, MUD 4 had done an annexation. We accepted the old MUD 4 prior to the annexation as the boundary of where we would do that audit. Was that taken into consideration when we got it?
So another.
I don't think that appeared on the tax rolls until.
Supply and chain officer shouldn't be.
That wouldn't have appeared because it was
Yeah, it
done
should,
last year.
it should not.
So it'll automatically be off.
Okay, so
Next year,
I just wanted to clarify.
this next year, you'll have to slice that out. flying JP piece, which was Aaron's 2024. So, more than that.
It's like
Identify that, it's only a few tax numbers, so that's pretty easy to figure out.
I know there's, those are listed here.
Okay, thank you.
Good memories.
Okay, is there any other discussion regarding this part? Okay, all in favor? And that is unanimous, thank you. Okay, so then we move on to the next part regarding the 3-year agreement extension.
And I sent you guys out an email in regards to what Howard had sent to us in regards to an extension to our annual grant agreement with them. So if, Howard, you want to address that now, or?
I just
You
going
guys
to
have any
answer any
comments?
questions you have. It's not, I hope you realize it's not on this contract. It's on
Right.
the 24.
Yeah, it's a separate grant.
Right. Okay. I just come to answer any questions you might have.
This is the ESD contract.
Yes.
That is-
It's the 11. Yes.
Right. And so you wanted the 3-year extension of the existing grant
Yes,
for
ma'am.
for an additional 3 years. And do you have ideas of what you think?
I have plans with the way the industrial park's expanding so quickly, the water park's coming, the hotel's coming. I'd like to purchase a ladder truck. And it's 900, it's between 750 and 923, depending on what you call them, basically. So, the problem is, it's hard for me to come to you and give you a specific price. I don't have a plan that, yes, I do have the money from you guys, so I can't take it to my board and get approval to purchase it until I know that. So, I'd really like to buy a ladder truck with those improvements that's being made. It's just happening, and, you know, we don't see sales tax till 4 months after something opens, so it's hard to keep up with the growth, and we don't get the money until after they open.
Sure.
So, 3 years would really be able to purchase that ladder truck, and I'd carry it on and continue to do it for the rest of the term. But of course, if we use it.
Which contract are we talking about? Is this the one that we just
It's a 2014.
did the audit on? Is that the one that we just?
No, it's a different one.
This is ESD, this is part of ESD 11.
11, okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Have you got your budget yet for did you go January to December?
October.
October, okay, so do you have your budget ready yet for, I guess what I'm getting at is, do you expect your revenues to be more or less based on the appraisals?
Yeah, Les, we did take a hit from the Hurricane Harvey reappraisals that we've done. And also Cleveland, there's some area up on 105 Fox Glory that Cleveland has that we were receiving money on, we should have been. So that hit us for about 30,000 total that we weren't expecting in the loss. Between the hurricane reappraisals and that property tax we've been getting for an unlimited amount of time that we should not have been getting. So we lost some money due to both of those situations.
So starting at your next fiscal year, you're already,
Yes,
don't
it
have as
happened
much
in this
revenue as you
budget.
did the last year. the
Yes,
previous
we
year.
have, we were expecting. So, with that, just the growth, I mean, the ladder truck to me is gonna be something to benefit you guys. It's gonna be a piece that, you know, a hotel over 2 stories can say, oh yeah, they can reach every floor we have. 'Cause right now, we can't reach over the 2nd floor. So, I think that maybe, I don't know how things are going with you on the inside, but I don't know if you are having issues with anything over 2 floors. I'm sure you're having no issues with 2 floors, but if my fire department can't reach the 3rd and 4th floor, we're gonna have some issues. So, it was to really just speed up the process of getting out here and covering what we currently have. We can't afford to cover as far as ladder truck.
Where would you keep the ladder truck?
Out of Station 151, we'll cover Jim Campbell, we will cover, the water park as a second food apparatus, but mainly Jim Campbell. If one of those buildings over there catch on fire, we're gonna be in a bind. We're gonna need Porter's ladder truck, Woodland's ladder truck, but if we get this one, so we need to elevate the master streams and get them flowing into it. So that would be what it is.
What's the height, how many floors can you go with the ladder truck you're talking about?
7 to 8 floors we can cover, so pretty good amount. Depending on the setback, if we can get closer than, you know, parking area and all this, and we have to have it further back on our setback, kind of just an angle text from that. If we can get close up to the building, we can get 10 floors out of it.
Does Porter or any one of them have a ladder truck that goes with that?
Yes, sir, Porter has one. There's just a 100-foot platform. I'm not wanting to go that big. I'm wanting 75 to 100. It's going to depend on the price. If I get 100 or close to 75, I'm not going to.
Anybody else have any questions?
$300,000 a year for the next 3 years.
Well, it's the,
It's 250.
250. The 300 is, the 300 is for the sales tax. The other is a grant. It's for 250 a year for 3 years.
When does it currently expire on that?
I think it expires
October-
in 20.
October 2019 is
Yeah.
last payment. So coming up this October, 2019 is the last payment.
Is this built into the budget already?
No,
You want an extension through 2022?
Yes.
we've already paid we've already paid our budgeted amount for this year.
Right.
Okay.
So this is just an additional 3-year grant.
This year's just.
Right, it'll be 3 years from now.
What? Paid this year's
Not next
fiscal
year, year after.
Not calendar year.
Yeah, we're just fiscal year. Yeah, in our budget
Jan,
year.
did you want to answer?
I was just gonna say, we are owed one other grant, was actually owed like in
Right.
April,
For this year, For
700,000.
2018.
Right.
Yeah, for the
Right.
11.
But it wouldn't be until 2020.
Right,
That-
just
that-
2019
this
is
would
when
be-
it currently
Yeah,
expires.
yes.
Correct.
So this grant here would take over at 2019.
20, yes, it
So
would just be
it
an
would go through,
extension.
then it go through 2022.
20, 21, and 22, yes.
So we just giving them a 3-year grant, 2 years
Extension,
in
yes.
advance.
Yes. Well, not in advance, but we would just extend the current contract for 3 more years.
No, so I don't want the money up front.
Uh-huh.
Change the expiration date of the contract.
You're gonna finance the truck.
I'm financing the truck, and this will pick up the payment next year. It'll take me a year to build it, it's 365 by the time I get it. So, the payment's not due until delivery, so.
So if we approve to give you the money, you'll be able to order it now, we'll have it a year from now?
Depending on what they say.
Depending on what
I
they
need to
say.
know I have the money before
Yeah.
I can take it to them.
Right. Any other questions? Okay. So we need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I heard a motion over here, and then I heard a second to approve it. Okay, motion by Director Pearson to approve it, and a second by Director Zepeda.
Thank you so much.
Any other discussion?
No, ma'am, thank you.
All in favor?
I think,
Yes, sir.
guys, one of the things you might want to think about, again, Howard, normally we can get these financed out for 10 years, correct?
Yes, sir.
So again, as opposed to paying $250,000 a year for the next 3 years and impact our cash flow, you might want to think about just providing the debt service on it over a 10-year period. So you don't have as much outflow for the next 3 years, you can stretch it out over a longer.
So
You know,
actually.
if you want to service the debt on the project, and you just freed up another $200,000 that we can use next year as opposed to having so much on the front end. That's the email I sent out to you guys. I don't know if you looked at it or not, but those are some things to consider and think about as opposed
Again,
to.
I have to run it by my EMCID.
Yeah.
It's just, my plan is I'd like to get a letter, what they're gonna say with my plan.
Yeah, however you pay for it, we're gonna pay for it, just however the financing is structured, it might help us budget-wise. With other needs you may wanna be thinking about, as opposed to paying for everything over 3 years, you might wanna pay for it over 10 years. 82,000 a year for 10 years, or some number like that, so.
So that makes more sense.
You know, again, it won't hurt as much over the next 3 years, and it's a little bit
The only thing,
easier.
I mean, and again, it's y'all's vote, but the only thing I would consider is the total amount spent over a 10-year period, paying $100,000 versus the $250,000. It's gonna be up to my board on what we do with, as far as y'all's offer and what we plan out with. I think $100,000 over a 10-year period is a lot more money over a long period than $250,000.
So what is what about roughly, you said the cost of the truck is
I've got
anywhere
a
from
call.
750
Yes,
to
ma'am.
900 and something?
923.
Okay, so if.
923 is what, yeah.
Okay, so if this board voted to fund the debt service, that would pay for the truck completely, and that would actually be more than if we funded it for 3 years,
Right.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
With the, Frank, your proposal, would it revise the two remaining payments?
It's got nothing
No,
to do,
it's just
nothing to do with
so
the
then
remaining
just
payments.
add
They need a truck, let's go buy a truck. I mean, that's kind
I
of,
just want to try and get, I didn't see your email, so I just want to make sure I get this right.
yeah, I don't know, I mean, it's just,
You're saying add 10
we
years.
need to, you know, we probably want to
From a cash flow standpoint.
look at our
what you're
budget
saying
and see
is-
how it affects us both ways. You know, about the proposal, they need a truck, let's go buy a truck.
Their
That's what
contract
my
expires in
proposal is.
2019.
I know.
So if we do that, if we did the 10-year debt
I'm not-
service, it has nothing to do with the contract.
I'm not doing anything with the contract. Does that make sense?
It's just a different grant.
Yeah, exactly, it's a fire service grant, I mean, call it what you wanna call it, but, and at the end of the day, you get your truck, that's what you're wanting to do.
That's what I want.
That's the ultimate goal, so let's figure out a structure that works better for us from a cash flow perspective, and gets them what they need to accomplish, they just wanna go buy a truck.
Ms. Grant, do you want to add anything?
So,
No, I'm just thinking.
You are.
It's already in process.
yeah,
How would you word that to give you the latitude to work out the best way for EMCID?
well, I think Howard
And them
and
get what they want to.
Howard and I can call each other on the phone, we'll figure it out. I mean, Jan, whatever you guys think works the best, then, you know.
I think Fred, what you'd have to do for action, if that's what you're asking, is just.
Yeah,
it's
well, we
just
already got a
one-
motion for $250,000 a year and it passed.
Extension
How
of
would we
the other-
change that?
You have to either vote down and withdraw it, and authorize a new grant in an amount sufficient to pay the debt service for over a 10-year period, and authorize Frank to work out the details.
Okay, so Director Pearson, you made the motion, do you want to?
I want to rescind the motion. Yes. Frank talked us into it.
I'm just, there's options, you got other things we
No,
need to
if she's
do.
rescinding it, and Director Zapata, you seconded the rescind? Okay. So we need to vote on that. So all in favor of rescinding the motion to fund it for 3 years? It's unanimous, thank you. Now, do we want to make a motion to allow Frank to work with Howard to get it worked out and then bring it back to the board and we approve it? Okay. So can you take it now to your
I
board?
can take it down now.
Okay,
And then I'll agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that works better from your all's perspective, if their board takes action first, then we come in and then structure whatever works the best.
They may say no.
Well,
I don't look for them to, but they might.
I see Jan out there, I know what their goal
I know
is.
how one vote would go.
Let
We'll give her 30 days.
Let your board go accomplish it, and then we'll come in and figure out the financing structure, okay?
Sounds good.
So, yeah.
So, do we need?
Motion.
Action?
Motion, what I put down is to authorize Frank to negotiate a new grant, and bring it back to the board. Grant proposal
Okay.
to finance the federal government.
Okay, so moved.
Okay, so Director
Yeah,
Pearson,
what did you
thank
say?
you, and second by Director Carlisle on that. Did you get that, Dave?
Yeah, I think so.
Director Pearson and Director Carlisle,
Got it.
okay. All in favor of that? And that's unanimous. Thank you. Thank you.
Howard, we got it worked out for you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next item is regarding the economic development grants, including, you wanna think
Yeah, on item 7A, we'll have a few minor changes to the assisted living facility. They've started some of the construction work on their site. We just need to look at some modifications to the agreement that we had in place with them. They'll have those finished up in force and back to us in June.
of? Okay.
So the incentive agreement with Mustang Machinery, that's out for their signature. Incentive agreement with Weimer, we need to visit on that before we act on it when we come back down from executive session. We're still working on getting the incentive agreement with Donald's finished up for New Caney. We don't have 1295 from EMCID, so we're still working with them on their projects and waiting on 1295s on Darst and Presidential Billiards. We need to visit on Olive Garden before we come back downstairs, and we should approve that when we come back down from the executive session. We have a couple of changes there. And with North Caney Hospitality for the other hotel site, we don't have 1295, so we have no action to take on them this evening.
Okay,
So,
all right. The next item is any announcements. We have a shredding dinner this Saturday, 8 to 2.
shred them in, bring your shred stuff.
All your tax returns, previous 5 years.
We got a new certified person in the office, so you know, Kelly passed, there's an exam and a process that you go through to get certified, so.
What are you certified?
She took a
I'm
test.
a certified community and economic developer.
Very good, congratulations, Kelly, that's great.
So you're certified now, you couldn't spell it now, you is one?
I have a seal.
Wow.
All right, any other announcements? Anybody have any announcements?
Don't forget Founder's Day this week in the front door.
We're actually
our college Kingwood is Saturday, and actually, from our 3 early college high school programs that had the first set of graduates in 2013 from Splendora, and Infinities had 2 classes of graduates, but altogether with those in Humboldt, we have 673 high school students get a college degree before they got their high school diploma.
That is so incredible. 673. That is awesome.
Yes, Glendora Early College had their ceremony here last night for their students, so it was a great event. And then I think the evening before, it was a group of respiratory therapists, I think from Lone Star College that was here the night before. So we had several graduations in our building here the last couple of nights.
Tonight, fire scientists are graduating ceremony.
Okay, any other announcements?
We also have the McCain ISD Education Foundation's Raising the Summer Luncheon tomorrow. And next week, the Rotary Club's Mike Hogg All County Scholar Athletes will be recognized May 16th. So, you know, a couple of years ago, Glendora High School, Frankie York, our intern here, remember she got the all-female, she won the whole thing.
Awesome, thank you. Anything else? Okay, if not, we will recess to executive session to discuss real property matters pursuant to section 551.072 Texas Government Code, pending or contemplated litigation pursuant to section 551.071 Texas Government Code, matters in which the duty of the attorney to the district under the Texas Disciplinary Rules of Professional Conduct of the State Bar of Texas clearly conflict with chapter 551 Texas Government Code pursuant to section 551.071 Texas Government Code and economic development negotiations pursuant to section 551.087 Texas Government Code, and we are in recess at 7:02. 7:02. All right, y'all ready?
We still got 10 seats open.
All right, guys, we're back in session,
This side is.
right? We are back in session at 9:10. Okay, so we're going to go back to item number 7 and go to C.
Yes, for item C. I think what we want to do is maybe instruct our attorney to go ahead and prepare a lease agreement for the second building for Weimer to expand into and begin that process.
Second.
Okay?
And amend the first lease, necessary.
Okay, motion to do all of that by Director Carlisle and second by Director Zepeda. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
And then the second thing on that item, I think we need to give our engineer instructions to finish the pad site to make ready for the tent structure, the temporary tent structure that our client is going to need to put in on a temporary basis until the building is ready. And then also to instruct him to begin securing plans and specs for construction of the next building. And then the last thing is probably to tell me to begin the process of negotiating with the bank on a financing product that would work to construct the facility.
Yes.
All of that, what you
Okay.
said.
Okay, motion by Director Carlisle, second by Director Zepeda again. Any discussion? All in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
I got a question.
Oh,
That was
no.
too fast.
Do we need to make a
10-8.
motion about that, put a 10 out there?
No, I don't think so.
Do we need a variance?
Do we need the board need to vote on, so they can put a 10 out there?
I don't know, it's not on the agenda to do that.
I'll put it on the agenda for next month.
Yeah, we'll just do it next month.
Okay?
If it's necessary.
Okay.
If it's necessary, I
If
gotta look.
necessary. Never mind, okay.
Who
We're
made
on
that
210
motion
here.
and second?
I'm sorry?
I was trying to catch up on the motion.
The motion was for all the other stuff.
Who made it?
Motion same, Director Carlisle and Zepeda.
And
It'll
vote.
probably have to be the rest of the week. Okay, you ready? So we're going on to 8. What?
Let's vote.
Oh, I did. H.
Yes, on item H, once again, we want to execute an incentive agreement with Olive Garden Holdings Darden Restaurants, or that's actually Olive Garden Holdings LLC, for them to construct a facility over in Valley Ranch. And I think that's, okay.
Okay, motion by Director Carlisle.
I second.
I see two. I saw a head nod first by Director West, so we'll go with that. All in favor?
We have another
Unanimous.
option.
What's the incentive?
That's to do an
It's
incentive.
what we discussed.
I
Okay,
got it.
it's done. Can we tell you later?
I got it.
Okay. So then we need to go on to 10.
We'll skip item 9.
We already.
We're not going back and.
We can't anymore.
10A we've done.
We kind of already did 10A on the
Yeah.
building, so Joe's been instructed to start that
Right.
process.
So Joe, if you'll take over at B, or 10B.
Glad to see you, Joe.
Glad to be seen. Skipping over A, going to B, there were no vote sales. I guess this is wrong.
No, but you can talk about it. Or sing.
Just as long as we can hear you, it's okay.
Okay. The item C, the status of contract with Clearwater to construct the sanitary sewer facilities. As I've been telling you, the lift station's been the problem. We did sandblast it. We had the paint people out today to inspect it, to make sure it was ready for paint, which they said it was. We just got to clean it a little bit. So they started painting it today. We gave the contractor notice, he's got to finish it in the next 30 days, we'll get the final done. We gave him a lot of leeway because of the hurricane came up, and because we kind of waiting a little bit at first, trying to figure out what we're going to put in, but it's gone way too long. So he's going to finish it, he isn't going to finish it.
You're still recommending nothing, man?
Still recommending that you pay, he's done the work, and what's left in retainage, $29,534.95, more than enough to cover what's left out there.
Okay.
He has not collected the pay application.
Okay. So we have a motion to pay it by Director Zepeda, by Director Carlisle. Second by Director Zepeda. All in favor? Unanimous, thanks.
Okay, the next item is the Anger Brothers contract for the roads, and they've essentially finished everything. They've got the guardrails in, they've got the signage up, and they did hydro mulch. Hydro mulch had come up because it had rained since they had it mulched. We will have a final inspection before the next meeting, make sure everything's done. They drug the ditches and they were pretty out there. It looks good, they did a good job. He submitted their pay application in the amount of $71,481.12, and we're holding $15,692.28, which would be more than enough to cover the year. So we're recommending that you pay them.
Okay. Motion by Director West, second by Director Rogers. All in favor? Unanimous, thanks.
Okay, the next item is status of the plant. The delinquent taxpayer still is delinquent in section 3, hasn't paid. My friends tried to call him a couple of times, see what the deal is, hasn't been successful. The section 4 plant.
You might, Frank, if you're interested in that one, you might call, Tammy and ask her if she could, as soon as it gets to where the attorneys have their interest, to have her pursue that particular account, and you can ask her how quickly she can pursue it.
Okay.
Can we pay the taxes for them?
No. Go ahead.
Delinquent taxes.
It's okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, which wants it.
Ain't that what's holding you up on everything?
It's just flat.
Okay.
David wants flat worse than anybody, because he keeps it legal.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's nothing binding
No, everything you're selling out there, you're doing decent balance right now. And, but it would clear up everything. We do need to do the plat as soon as we can. Everything's done except for that. And the bond, section 4 plat, all we got left is to get a bond. We usually wait till it's right there because the bond's only good, you know, you're paying for it. So we did call the, bond people today. I talked to Fred, got their name, who does the bonds, and they called us back. So we're handling that. We gotta give them some information. You know, the bond's not gonna be that much money. So once that bond's acquired, then we'll finish the section 4 plan. Submit county and be recorded. Section 3, we'll just have to wait.
Section 4 can at least get water and service.
Sorry.
So Section 4 can at least get water and sewer service.
So that's the status of the plats. The building, the next item, the ES construction contract, he's about, I'd say 99% done. He's got a little cleanup, he's got, you know, a little landscaping that needs to be cleaned up. There's a door handle that doesn't work. We contacted him, he's called the door people, they're gonna come fix it. So he's essentially done the building. You know, it looks pretty good. I don't know, Leonard had been out there, everybody else.
Show it.
So, we haven't funded the building, but you did submit a pay application for $70,606.85. You're still holding $53,184.08. And that's another one we'll probably finalize during the month, come back to you with the final, walkthrough and all that. All the paperwork.
So
This,
do you want us to go ahead and have a motion to pay that, or just wait till next month?
you need to pay its pay application.
Okay, for the 70,000.
And approve the exchange order.
Yeah, and for the
And for the
change
change.
order, the change order was for the
Okay.
gate that they wanted, and I think that's it.
Okay, all right, there was a motion by Director Wetz and a second by Director Carlisle, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you.
That's it. That's all, that's the question.
I think you're good, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Item G, we're just waiting on the survey to be finished up, and the real estate contract should be over to them in the next couple of days. Is that right, Joe? Joe? Is that right? Survey for,
Yeah, it's done. We had a problem with
Okay.
some easements on it,
all right.
and we got it resolved.
So they should have a real estate contract in a couple of days.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
give David the,
All right.
make sure he gets it.
Okay. So then we'll, you know, within the next 30 days, we should be closing on the, as soon as it gets to the title company, because I know he's anxious to get started and get out of the existing building. On item H, we need to approve the incentive agreement. We're looking to provide $10,000 in relocation assistance to Agent Security Company to move here. We want to propose selling them a tract of land up to a 5-acre tract. It might be a little bit smaller, so we would like to get approval up to 5 acres. They're anticipating around 13 to 17 employees once they get moved over here. And then the last thing is, we want to make sure we've got a commitment that they provide a facility of 24,000 square feet. What I showed you was just a 12,000 square foot floor plan, and it's actually going to be a 2-story structure. So this will be our first 2-story building in the industrial park. So each floor will have 12,000 feet on it, so we'll have a 24,000 square foot building.
Okay, we need a motion to approve. Director Carlisle, Director Rogers, seconded. All in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
And I and J just need to be deferred until those projects are completed.
Okay, what about item I?
Yes, I and J.
I and J, okay, we'll defer those. All right, so the next item is adopting a resolution for prevailing wage rate scale for construction projects.
This is an annual requirement that would be adopted because of years, and I prepared a new one with the new schedule.
Okay.
Go over to adopt it.
Is this a national or is this local?
I think you all, hold on. You're using Department of Labor, U.S. Department
Okay,
of
so
Labor.
that's national. Okay, so we have a motion by Director Carlisle, second by Director Wetz, all in favor? Unanimous. Next item is the, consider engagement of arbitrage compliance specialist for the tax revenue refunding clause.
Yeah, this is, every 5 years you do you hire the arbitrage auditors to look at your investments and expenditure funds and so forth, to make sure you haven't violated federal laws related to your taxes.
And the 5 years is now.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion. Director Zapata, Director Wetz. Seconds. All in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
No, you don't have to look that way anymore.
Items for future agendas? Hearing nothing, we are adjourned at 9:20.